What up, what up, what up? It's your boy DJ Finesse in the building. About to start another stream. We're going to talk about Maschine Studio, Maschine MK3, and how to use that software. So if you got any questions, don't be afraid to hit me up in the chat. Let me know. Let's go. That was a little drawing I made on Maschine a couple days ago. Let's get up and start a brand new drawing. Alright, so if you're pretty new to Maschine, go over a little basics for you, you know what I mean? So it's the overall layout. You got the browser over here on the left. You know what I mean? All your sounds, you got your projects, that's your completed beats with all your scenes, patterns, and sounds. Scenes, groups, patterns, sounds, kind of like the breakdown for Maschine. So scenes, patterns, groups, and sounds. Not strictly in that order. But you got your scenes, you got your groups, you got your sounds, and then you can create your patterns. You know what I mean? And, when I got on Maschine, I was pretty confused. I had just come from FL Studio. And, my boy Steve Griffey was like, yo, this joint, he was swearing by this joint. He's like, yo, just got the Maschine Studio. I'm making all types of beats, you know what I mean? You should check it out. So I went and copped the studio. And that joint kind of sat for a while. Sat for almost a year. Till I got fed up with the FL Studio and the loop record feature. Like, for the life of me, I couldn't hit it on the downbeat. It was working before, but all of a sudden, you get a new computer, you got to reset up everything, and then you get a new driver and all that type of stuff, and then you don't start acting funny. And FL was acting real funny for me, so I was like, yo, let me open up Maschine and give it a try. And I ain't never really looked back. You know what I mean? I still mess with FL Studio, but for the most part, if I'm trying to lay down some beats, I'm using Maschine. Just recently copped the MK3. I started out on the studio, but I just got an MK3. I like the fact that you can use the audio interface as well. It's all in one, so that's dope. Right now I'm rocking with Maschine 2, and we got Complete 14 Ultimate Collector's Edition. You know what I'm saying? So we got the sounds. You know what I'm saying? So plus got a couple other plugins. But the Complete is where it's at, man. You wanna definitely check that out if you're looking for sounds. You know what I'm saying? All the expansions you get with Complete. This is the Ultimate Collector's Edition, so it's a little bit more, but yeah. You know what I'm saying? All these different expansions, kits. The default Maschine banks are pretty dope. You know what I mean? If you have a sample collection of your own, you know what I'm saying? And we'll go over that on how to import your own samples. You can go into your files, samples, and you can just right click, import to library. And then you'll be able to search for it inside the library by clicking this little head thing on the right. boom, and then it goes to kits that you made, all your sounds. So those are groups. I got a couple sounds. I don't have any instruments. Well, yeah, I got a couple of instruments that came in packs. Effects. There you go, your loops and your one shots. So you can kind of go through your samples and tag them and everything. Find and explore. You can delete it from there. But if you go down to the bottom, you can edit and tag your samples. You can see what format it's in. Click on edit. So if you want to click on one of your sounds, and that looks like that sounds like a loop. So there you go. Now if you click on loops, that sound will come up. Now let's take off the monitor. So Maschine, their tagging system is really dope. You can really find some stuff when you're looking for it. Sounds like a guitar. Haven't really done too much tagging of my sounds, as you can see. It's on the acoustic guitar. Boom. So yeah, that's pretty dope. Go ahead and load a sample. Let's see where that's from. Future deep vocals. So if you want to save your sound, that's a clap. Let's say 14. So future deep vocal. Clap 14. Boom. Then if I want to save that, do the same thing here. Maschine 2 sounds. You got FDV clap 14. And I just hit save. Now if I go to my sounds, just recall it up. Don't have to really search for it, especially if I don't really have too many user sounds in here. I'm always searching. I'm wasting time. So a couple things. You got the tune. Well, let's go to the first panel. So we got the polyphony, which means how many of the sample voices can be played at once. So most of the time on drum hits like this, you want a polyphony at 1. Unless you're using an 808, then you would use legato, so you can get that slide, that drill slide type of joint. You can use legato, and then it has the glide parameter. But for most drum hits, you want the polyphony on 1. Pitch bend is your regular pitch bend wheel. Now you got the sample engine, which has a standard engine. You also got the MPC 60 emulator and the famous FC1200 emulator. The L, the LM, HM, and the H are filters. So you got the low, medium, or low mid, high mid, and then you have the high filter. Because on the old machines, particularly the SP1200, it had 8 outputs, and I think the first 2 were low. Then you had 3 to 5 were mid, and then I just remember that 1 through 6 were filtered. Can't remember exactly which numbers, but 7 and 8 were the unfiltered outputs. That's where I ran most of my samples to. I use like 1 and 2 for the bass drums and stuff like that. But yeah, so those are pretty dope. You can see how that sounds. See the difference. So you go here, change that drum. Yeah, you can definitely hear a difference in the sample. That's a low. You definitely hear the filter. That's going high. So yeah, man, this is a personal preference. I prefer the SP1200L for my kicks and my basses. Pretty dope. Next, you got the tune, so you can tune the sample. Kind of match your beat, match the pitch of your loop, your melodic loop. You can help put the drum hit in tune. So this is the start of the sample, starting point. It's not like attack. It's more sharp than like a traditional attack. So if you want to move it, especially if you got some dead space in the beginning of your sample, this doesn't really have any. It would be nice if it showed a graphical, but kind of see where it starts at. So then you got the reverse. And the type of sample. So you got the type of sample. You got one shot, which it plays it from start to finish once you hit the key. Then you got attack, hold, and decay. I generally use this on 808s. This is how long it holds the sample when you press the key. And then you got the decay. So if you turn on the decay, that's how long it holds the sample. And then you can add a little decay on the end. So if you want to get your snares tight, your claps tight, what I'm saying, that helps. And also like your bass drums. I really like that. I don't really use ADSR unless it's like a melodic sample, like a string or a guitar or something like that. Then I might use that. So you got the attack, the start of the sample kind of fades in. You got the decay, how long it takes the decay from full amplitude to 0. Then you got the sustain, which is how long you hold the key. It'll keep the song, keep the sound playing, especially if it has like a loop. And then release. So once you release the key, how long it'll keep resonating after you let go of the key. So let me get like a piano sample and see if we can get an example. Something that's real long. Claps. Let's see if I can find something. I rarely use searching my own samples. I said drill piano. No, we don't want chords. We just want a single key. Let's see if we can find it. These are all loops. I have, so we can test it on this right here. So if you don't know, this is the sample editor machine. You get to it by clicking on this little sample icon right here. In the channel you want to edit, zoom in, pretty much snaps to 0 most of the time. So you want to make sure it snaps to 0 so you don't get any pops and clicks after you so you can hear that. Zoom in a little more. I don't think you can, but I still hear a little click. Alright, that's good enough. So we got one shot. That's playing to the end. So you see the S and the E. That's the start and the end of the sample. Then you got the A HD, attack, hold, and decay. See how that cuts out real quick as opposed to one shot, which goes to the end. You can. That's good if you want to do some arpeggiation. Repeat, let me get that on hold. See the decay popping. So, but then if you had, voices down in one. Turn down the BPM a little bit. Then with the ADSR, take off the decay down, take the sustain down. After I let go of the key, it doesn't really float, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't hear no sound after that. So if you turn up the release, if I just tap the key, it pretty much goes all the way to the end. So that's just a little example of how that works. And we got some simple filters. So we got compression. also got drive. We also got drive. Kind of saturates the sample for you. We got sample rate. Kind of dirties it up. Lo-fi. I kind of like to stay around 22. That was the sample rate. I think it was 22.6 or 26,000. I can't remember. Then the SB1200 was 12-bit. You can definitely hear how dirty that is. And you got the stock filters. You got the low pass 2, band pass, high pass, and EQ. Modulating envelope. I don't really use those too much. LFOs. Don't really use those too much either. This is for your mod wheel. So modulates the volume and it also modulates the cutoff, the decay, and also the start of a sample. Well, this is the velocity. So the velocity modulates the volume. So that means how loud the velocity is in the sample. So we go to the pattern, click on this, boom, boom, boom. And the velocity could so we turn this down. You'll see that the cutoff will vary based on the sample's velocity. So the filter cut off. So we turned off the turn that back on. So not only is the velocity modulating the volume, it's also modulating the filter cutoff. So you turn the filter cutoff down to where you want it to be and adjust the volume, the velocities. So let's turn this to high pass. Let's see. Yeah, not really. I mean, it's a cool feature, but yeah, I don't really get it all that. Let's restart this group. All right, so we got the scenes, we got the groups, and we got the sound. So let's go to a group. And one thing I like to do is, if I have a group, I like to split up. Turn on. Split up the sound in a different group. So let's go here. So yeah, we got the kick. So especially if you're trying to mix, you know what I mean, or export this to be mixed in an external program, it might help if you kind of ungroup some of the sounds. So what I do is I create another group. You can go back to previous group. You can drop that in here. So that's going to be on sound 1. So you can remove that. It already removes it. Once you move it, so now we got the stabs. Let's put the stabs in a group. Boom. Boom. And we put the lick in that group. And make another group for sound effects. So now I could just label this drums. Boom. Then I could label this bass. The keys will work. We got this is stabs. And we got effects. So now when we go and export this drum, we can go here, we can go to scenes all, then we can go to group, and now we can just export each track. We got the drum track, we got the bass track, we got the chord stabs, and we got the effects. Normalize. You don't have to loop optimize, but you know what I'm saying? These are my settings right here. Boom. So now that makes it real easy. You can just export this drum and then import it in something like Pro Tools or Adobe Audition or whatever, Reaper, whatever you want to do. FL Studio. You know what I mean? See if anybody check out the drum. Let's see on this live chat. Alright, so now another cool thing is you can set up groups to route to. So if you wanted to route all your sounds to an effect, you could use something like, you could start out with an effect. So you want to start out with some reverb, you want to start out with delay. Let's see. Just got this IK media train, so it's like it's a reverb. Join us a little preset. This is a send. So it's they got any drum rooms? Smooth drum room. Let's go with that. Boom. So what I want to do is I go to my kick sound. Then hit the channel drum. So you got the input, the output, groove, macro. So with the output. So when it says group, that means the current group that it's in. But if you want to send it, you can see that my effect was in E. So it's on E slot 1. So click on that. Boom. E slot 1. So we got the effects, the TR5, CSR room, the level, you got the pan, audio, mute, everything. So now when I hit the, so it's not sending anything now. Did I do that right? So let's send that snare drum to it too. So now we got the, okay, so there should be a send. So input, no. Did it wrong. I did it wrong. It's been a minute, folks. Sorry about that. So you want to take the group, bring it back to group on all those sounds. Another quick way you could do that, by click on this pad icon next to the speaker. Boom. So hit 2 from the start sign you want to do. Then you just hold shift. It'll select both of them. It'll be multi-select. Then I could click group. And now we got both of these on group instead of doing one by one. It's a little tip. So now we want to go to aux. So now we're making a send. That right there, I don't know what I was doing before. And now it's a send. So we go to the sound 1, the destination. You got up to 2 auxes, 2 aux sends on machine. Now I'm going to send. So now I'm just so this is the dry signal. Now I'm going to add, this is a send, so we don't have any dry signal on this reverb. It should be no dry. Where's the mix knob at? So yeah, so this reverb is 100% wet because I set it up as a send. So if we go here, boom, back to the channel drum. On the aux, first one is CSR room. That's at 0. Pre and post, we'll talk about that drum. So let's go, let's see what, I don't want that much on the kick. But just to show y'all. You can hear it. You hear that drum, but I don't really want too much reverb on my kick. Now snare, different story. So now, boom, we put the send on the snare. I'm going to give it kick a little something. I don't want it to sound too dry, but for me, it's mainly about the snare, especially in hip hop. You know what I mean? It's definitely about the snare. You know what I'm saying? The definitely good thing about Maschine is you could automate this drum. So, yeah, let me take the dry. Oh, that wasn't me. I was a kid. So let's bring that dry back. one thing you want to do is, you know what I mean, especially your kits that come with Maschine or any expansions that you buy, definitely want to go through all the joints and kind of see what they're doing, you know what I'm saying, to give you some tricks that you can add to your arsenal, you know what I mean. I do that a lot. Just check out, you know, different kits and what they got going on. Like I said, most of the drums you're looking at, you know, the polyphony is one, so you don't get no overlaps. And you'll see some of them, they'll use the SP with the S1200 or the MP60. But a lot of times it's just standard. And so you can go here, you got the groups, you can mute them. If you right click on the letter and number, you can solo. So this pad does nothing. You can still mute it. That's a solo. But you can still mute it and it takes off the so this might already have some, sounds like it has some echo on it, some reverb. So, boom. Oh man. So let's go to the browser, see if we can find some more sounds and maybe work on a beat. And one thing I like to do, prior to this, but again, if you hold down Shift, starting pad, and click the ending pad, it'll multi-select. You can see down here it has multi. So you got the choke, which is it'll cut off the previously playing sample once you start another one, as long as it's in the same group. So you can use choke, send. So send is the one that sends the cutoff. Receive is the one that receives the cutoff. For example, like a hi-hat, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat. You would put the closed hi-hat on send and the open hi-hat on receive. So every time you hit the open hi-hat, then you hit the closed hi-hat, it would cut it off, you know what I'm saying, to get that drum machine effect. So you can put these all on send, and then you can boom. Got that. Alright, so now they cut each other off. That sounds slow for some reason. So let's go to edit. Okay, it looks like it took it off the key. That sucks. So yeah, you might wanna, that's something you gotta watch out for. So undo set bass key. Alright, there we go. So you definitely want to watch out for that. So the root key was set, to B flat 3, A sharp, how you want to look at it. And you can change the bass key of each pad. And looks like when I multi-selected, I did that by accident. I think when I double clicked that, when it said multi. But anyway, so now. Alright, let's start working on the track. Let's see what we come up with. So far we got a simple beat, really simple beat. But what it does show is, how to set up your different scenes. So in a scene, you can select all patterns from a group, none patterns from a group. You can select certain patterns from one group and not the other. They don't even have to match up. You can rename these whatever. You can recolor them. They don't have to be the same color as the group. So if you wanted to color all your hooks, green, all your breaks yellow, and all your verses, blue, you could do that. And they don't even have to be the same color as the group. So the intro doesn't have any patterns, but it does have a pretty relatively new feature in Maschine. You got the clips, which they're not beholden to any group loop restrictions. One thing I really disliked about Maschine when I first got it, as opposed to FL Studio, is that there was really no independent loop. Everything had to be so rigid. So if your group, like one of your patterns inside your scene was 8 bars, and the rest of them were 2, you had to have that 8 bar joint there, and then the rest of it would loop. So let's make, in main, let's go to the scenes and make pattern 1 on the drums. Just kind of duplicate, double it. So just double it. So now we got 4. Now let's double that. So now if you look at, we need one more. Double. Doesn't matter. It's not going to be even. But let's not do that double. So now you got 4 bars on the drums, and then 1 bar for bass and 1 bar for stabs. But as you can see, the patterns that are lighter, kind of dimmed out, are looped patterns. So these will repeat the same media information over these remaining 3 bars, as opposed to this one where you can edit each individual event in this pattern because it's not looping. But with clips, it doesn't have to. It can be anywhere in the timeline. What you can do is you can use, this is a grid, kind of like quantizer, and you can set it. The lowest resolution you can set is 1/16, and that's pretty good, especially if you're doing like an intro with like a riser or something like that, and you want to move it. As you can see, so you got 16 spaces you can move. Your pattern to kind of make it align with your audio material. So that's really dope. I really love the clip feature. You know what I mean? That's one of my favorites, especially with dropping effects in my beats and your tags and all that. You know what I'm saying? You can use your make your group with all your producer tags and drop that. Let's put riser. Can't spell it. Just mess it up. Put riser. So now I know that's a riser. So it's not starting. Same time as the main pattern. Knowing the other patterns are playing inside the intro. Listen. And also what we're doing is we're choking the sound, so this hit that I loaded up is making sure to cut out the sound effect, so it just drops out as soon as that drone comes in. Alright, stop that. Unsolo that. So another thing, when you create, so you can duplicate this pattern. Let's delete that. You can also convert a, scene to clips, which is pretty dope. But say I duplicate this, so there's a couple ways you can do this. So if you go into settings, go into preferences, I think it's default. Yeah, I think it's default. So scene and selection. So you duplicate. So you can duplicate the scene only, and it doesn't do anything with the patterns. But if you duplicate, it'll duplicate the scenes and the patterns. So, excuse me. So when I duplicate this, it creates a brand new pattern. So you don't mess up. I can delete that clip. You don't mess up what you had before. So if I just, I can go back into, let's see, where's click on this, click on that. Now I can just double click in here and rename. This will be my verse. Let's go 1A. So then I'll just double click that. So boom, that's first 1A. Select the color. Versus green, doesn't matter what you do. But you can select the colors. You can rename them. Say first 1A base. Shorthand if you want, you know what I'm saying, stabs, boom, stands. So yeah, I like that. So now if I wanted to do a dropout in the verse here, I could, and that doesn't change the first pattern. You know what I'm saying? Duplicate that. Kind of flesh out your song, you know what I'm saying? Just duplicate, then do say verse. One B. Yeah, I made a suggestion on Native Instruments forum that it'd be really dope if they made it anytime I duplicated a scene and renamed it, it would rename every last pattern in the drawing, so I don't have to do it myself. That sucks. But we'll see if that happens. What else? So we went over the aux sends. I don't know if you saw, I like to use the groove feature on this drawing a lot. So set the groove for the drums. You can see the hi-hat. Sometimes I put it in a group, sometimes I just do individual sounds. See, they got no swing on that drum. On the kicks, I used 1/16 triplet, so they got a little swing on it. But the hi-hats are pretty, you know, they ain't dancing. But if you throw in a swing, sounds pretty good. Yeah, it's made a little basic beat, you know what I'm saying? Nothing to write home to. But just to show little features of Maschine. So if you're just getting the Maschine, got any questions, make sure you hit me up in the comments. I know a lot about it. I'm just doing some basic stuff for my first draw. Just getting back into live streaming, you know what I mean? So hit me with any Maschine questions you got. Alright, that's it for now. Peace.